I don't see the screen if you shared anything. Otherwise, I will just open the website. Or would you?
I shared it.
Oh. Okay, where should I start again?
From verse number 11 to 30.
Okay.
Before you start.
These sons and grandsons were ritually plunderers.
Yeah,
of
one second. Maybe you can start first saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 3 times.
Oh, sorry, I saw it. I said it very, very slowly. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. These sons and grandsons were virtually plunderers of King Puranjana's riches, including his home, treasury, servants, secretaries, and all other paraphernalia. Puranjana's attachment for these things was very deep-rooted. The great sage Naradan continued, "My dear King Prachinabharishat, like you, King Puranjana also became implicated in so many desires. Thus he worshipped demigods, forefathers, and social leaders with various sacrifices, which were all very costly because they were inspired by the desire to kill animals. Thus, King Puranjana, being attached to fruitive activities, karma kandya, as well as kitsu and kin, and being obsessed with polluted consciousness, eventually arrived at that point not very much liked by those who are overly attached to material things. O king, in Gandharva Loka there is a king named Chandavega. Under him there are 360 very powerful Gandharva soldiers." Hare Krishna. Should I read the rest, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please read till 30, 30.
30, okay. O king, okay, I did that. Along with Chandavega, were as many female Gandharvis as there were soldiers, and all of them repetitively plundered all the paraphernalia for sense enjoyment. When King Gandharva and his followers began to plunder the city of Puranjana, a snake with 5 hoods began to defend the city. The 5-hooded serpent, the superintendent and protector of the city of King Puranjana, fought with the Gandharvas for 100 years. He fought alone with all of them, although they numbered 720. Because he had to fight alone with so many soldiers, all of whom were great warriors, the serpent with 5 hoods became very weak. Seeing that his most intimate friend was weakening, King Puranjana and his friends and citizens living within the city all became very anxious. King Puranjana collected taxes in the city known as Panchala, and thus was able to engage in sexual indulgence. Being completely under the control of women, he could not understand that his life was passing away and that he was reaching the point of death. My dear King Prachinabharishat, at this time, the daughter of formidable time was seeking a husband throughout the 3 worlds. Although no one agreed to accept her, she came. The daughter of time, Jara, was very unfortunate. Consequently, she was known as Durbhaga, ill-fated. However, she was once pleased with a great king. And because the king accepted her, she granted him a great benediction. When I once came to this earth from Brahmaloka, the highest planetary system, the daughter of time, wandering over the universe, met me. Knowing me to be an avowed brahmachari, she became lusty and proposed that I accept her. The great sage Narada continued, "When I refused to accept her request, she became very angry at me and cursed me severely because I refused her request. She said that I would not be able to stay in one place for a long time. After she was thus disappointed by me with my permission, she reproached the king of the Yavanas, whose name was Bhaya, or fear, and she accepted him as her husband. Approaching the king of Yavanas, Karakanya addressed him as a great hero, saying, 'My dear sir, you are the best of the untouchables. I'm in love with you and I want you as my husband. I know that no one is baffled if he makes friends with you. Prabhuji, can you slide the... Thank you. One who does not give charity according to the customs or injunctions of the scriptures, and one who does not accept charity in that way, are considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Such persons follow the path of the foolish. Surely they must lament at the end. Kalakanya continued, O gentle one, I am now present before you to serve you. Please accept me and thus show me mercy. It is a gentleman's greatest duty to be compassionate upon a person who is distressed. After hearing the statement of Kalakanya, daughter of time, the king of the Yavanas began to smile and devise a means for executing his confidential duty on behalf of Providence. He then addressed Kalankanya as follows. The king of the Yavanas replied, after much consideration, I have arrived at a husband for you. Actually, as far as everyone is concerned, you are inauspicious and mischievous. Since no one likes you, how can anyone accept you as his wife? This world is a product of fruitive activities. Therefore, you may imperceptibly attack people in general. Helped by my soldiers, you can kill them without opposition. The king of the Yavanas continued, Here is my brother Prajvara. I now accept you as my sister. I shall employ both of you as well as my dangerous soldiers to act imperceptibly within this world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Hope there was a lot of questions in this story. Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Parminder Mataji, hope you had some questions out of this session. Maybe you're on mute. Okay, let's go on. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. वामज्ञानतिब्रन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गतामयं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलान् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतोत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Parminder Majid, thank you very much for reading this part of the chapter. So we are hearing to Narad Muni narrating some allegorical story to King Prachin Barijat, whose sons Prachetas are on one side advancing very nicely because they had the fortune to meet Lord Shiva. and they heard how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead from him, and they were instructed that if one can take up to that process, one can attain perfection. Meanwhile, so Narad Muni, out of his compassion, he comes to King Prachina Barhi, Prachina Barishat, and then he is waking him up. In the process of waking up, yeah, what do we mean by waking up is not just that, okay, to wake up from material sleep. Yeah, it is said that we are already sleeping in this world. The only difference is we are sleeping with our eyes wide open. Yeah, very interesting. Just like a fish is sleeping with its eyes wide open. There is nothing, no disturbance at all. It can sleep though the eyes are open. Similarly, in the day, we are wide open. Yeah, eyes are open. We are seeing everything. But then question comes, how are we sleeping? So when we are hearing to this wonderful narration of Narad Muni to King Prachina Parishad, uh, the thing is that when our senses get awakened, the understanding that I'm not this body, I'm this spirit soul, then when that opens, then we can realize that our eyes, though are wide open, that but we are actually sleeping in this world. Though we are walking, we are talking, we are working, we are doing so many things, but all this is under a spell of uh, the Maya, under the spell of mystic material energy, yeah, Prakriti, Gunakarmani, Kriya Karmani. So this is because of the modes of material nature, we are conditioned, and we are thinking we are awake. We are thinking that we are enjoying, but it's all actually we are sleeping. Just like we are enjoying a nice dream. Similarly, we are enjoying in this reality. Yeah, the reality is there. It's not that, oh no, this Maya means there is nothing substantial or essential. No, that everything is there. But we are identifying them incorrectly. So that's why we can call we are in a sleep. So King Prachin Barishat was in a sleep. What kind of sleep? That he is um, senses himself as an accomplished king, and he has ruled over, he has done so many sacrifices. So he's thinking that, hey, I am a perfect karma kanya, leading a very nice karmic life. And but Narad Muni comes to wake him up, saying that that's not the goal of life. The goal of life is something else. And here we are talking about the story that he is narrating, that there is King Puranjan, there is Puranjani, and then he goes to the forest, he comes back, and then he laments for what he has done. And then in the 27th chapter, which is the attack by Chandavega on the city of Puranjana, we cannot say that, hey, I am a king, so that there is nothing that can, what do you call this, can surpass me, my power. No, there is also that a king, though he is a king, though we are um, enjoying, we consider ourselves to be supreme enjoyers. No, that's not the fact. There is also some external factors, and this is what Paraminder Mataji was reading. So Narad Muni comes to the point. Yeah, he first time reveals to King Prachina Barhi that Narad Muni is saying that whatever I have been telling you about Puranjan, he is none other than you yourself. He's saying like you. He didn't say, hey, it's you. He said like you, indicating him that this story I have been speaking is not just some fun or recreation or amusement or, eye opener just because of its great grandeur of surprises in it. No, it is actually reality. The reality is that this King Puranjan is none other than you, which means this story is not just a story. Yeah? Why will Narad Muni waste time by giving some nice what do you call this? Um, uh, Fiction. Yeah, some fiction. Yeah, science fiction or whatever. Yeah, this is also a kind of science fiction, right? Spiritual science fiction. So, no, he is not, yeah, interested in that. Yeah, Narad Muni, who is always remembering the Lord and um, spreading the word of the Lord all over. Why will he have to concoct a story for nothing? No, he is using that because we may not take to Bhagavatam. Especially some people might be there who are atheistic. People do not have faith in the Lord. People do not have faith in the words of the Lord. People do not have faith in the words of the saints of the Lord. So in that way, might be that there is another way. Another way is to shake up our own belief system, that we think that this world is everything. This world is my pleasure. This world is a place where I can enjoy forever. So all these things which are there, yeah, to say no, that's not the case. So Narad Muni is telling to Prajna Barhi that this is, yeah, King Puranjan became implicated in so many desires, just like you. He worshipped the demigods, forefathers, and social leaders with various animal sacrifices. So we are also taking up to karma kanda process. We think that, okay, by pleasing that, by pleasing him, by pleasing her, in this process of pleasing, I am able to maintain my peace, happiness forever. Mm. Uh, and with this example, the teaching is there. Uh, Sometimes we should not just carry away ourselves with this story. It's so nice. Ramayana is beautiful. Mahabharata is so beautiful. All these are wonderful stories. Yeah, but what is the message? If you remember when we were going through this Ramayana, the name itself was Ramayana for me. So what is it for me? Uh, Ram Katha is so nice. Now we were talking about three dimensions. One dimension was about the story itself, to revise our understanding of the true story. The second one is about the characters, what each character mean. And what was the third one? The story, the teachings, the teachings out of this story or the pastime. So in that way, we can go dive deep into and then explore the essence of it. Anyway, let's continue here. So King Prachina Barhi was you were telling, about hey, this is Narendra is telling this is in fact a story about yourself. Uh, and then he says that thus King Puranjan being attached to the fruitive activities, as well as his kith and kin being obsessed with polluted consciousness, eventually arrived at the point that not very much liked by those who are overly attached to material things. So, King Puranjan actually is coming to old age. That's the direct, indirect way of saying. And in that time, who will like to be with them? Not everyone. These words, Priya, Yoshitam, and Priya are very significant. Yoshit means woman, and Priya means dear. So death is not very much welcome for those who are too much attached to material enjoyment, which is uh, culminates in sex. And in this regard, Prabhupada writes in the purport that being attached to fruitive activities, family, kutumba, asakta, chetasa, Puranjan eventually arrived at the point disliked by those overly attached to women. Uh, so, um, this is not a surprise. It's not that it's going to happen exceptionally. It happens without exception to everyone. King Puranjan finally arrived at the point of old age. In old age, senses lose their strength, and although an old man desires to enjoy his senses, he is very much miserable because his instruments of enjoyment no longer function, isn't it? If someone want to eat uh, like before, it's not possible. The health doesn't support. The body doesn't support. It's not only that, okay, one may not have the teeth to eat, but these days we have everything, right? So there are temporary or artificial arrangement for teeth so that one can chew. But what about inside? Are we able to handle arrange things inside? Yeah, now we are also advancing. What is it? We have, if we overindulge in eating and cause diseases, then there are also a lot of transplant programs that are going on. What is the guarantee? What is the guarantee? God knows. And is it just a replacement of like a battery from a car? No, it's not as easy as that. One is cut open. What do you call this? Bypass. And then, yeah. What is the guarantee again? And as the age goes, what is the guarantee that such operations can be 100% successful? Huh? What is the chances that one in the old age can, what do you call this? Hmm, not handled, can sustain, yeah, can sustain to such kind of operations. Hmm. Very, very difficult. Such sensualists are never prepared for death. And then the desire to enjoy more and more increases. They simply want to live on and extend their lives by so-called scientific advancement. So the scientific advancement is for what? Huh? It is such foolish Russian scientists also claim that they are going to make man immortal through scientific advancement. I don't know if anyone have watched a very, very old movie. I don't know why I watched. I think it was in 2000, no, 19 something. There's a movie called Frankenstein. Yeah, it was actually yeah, interesting movie where a scientist in his laboratory creates a immortal creation. Isn't it so amazing? But then he gets victim. He finally says, "Let's destroy the whole laboratory." I don't know if anyone have seen that. It's a very old time black and white movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think thought provoking. Yeah, but at the same time making us aware. Okay, um, such a intelligent being can always be dangerous. Um, anyway, such foolish here Prabhupada, Russian scientists also claim that they can do under the leadership of such crazy fellows, civilization is going on. So cruel death, however, comes and takes all of them away, despite their desire to live forever. We know in the case of Hiranyakashipu, Prabhupada writes, yeah, exhibited the same mentality, right? This type of mentality is not new. This was there when Hiranyakashipu was there. He said, huh, may I not die, may I be immortal. But that couldn't be. When the time was ripe, the Lord personally killed him within a second. And then it goes further. Chandavega iti khyato Gandharvadipatir Nrupa Gandharvas tasya balina sashti uttara sata trayam. So he's saying, Narasman is saying, oh king, in Gandharva Loka there is a king called Chandavega. Under him there are 360 Shashti Uttara Sata Trayam. So there are 360 very powerful Gandharva soldiers. What does this mean? This means an year contains 360 days, 360 days, and the soldiers of Chandavega here mentioned represents these days. So there is a king called Chandavega, and he has his soldiers. Chandavega is nothing but time or year. We are talking about year, and his soldiers are 360 days. And then there is also in the next verse, it's mentioned also Gandharvis. Yeah, Gandharva means there is also Gandharvi, which means like 360 days, there are also 360 nights. So in that way, 720 is the strength of this king, and he is attacking. Uh, and soldiers here mentioned represent these days. Time passes swiftly. Chanda Vega. Vega is speed. Chanda Vega very swiftly passes away all the days of our life. As the sun rises and sets, it snatches away the balance of our lifespan, isn't it? We are thinking, when the night will come so that I can rest. When the night will come, I can rest, isn't it? We are working very hard, 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 so much that just I'll fall on my bed and then go to sleep. Then by the next day already, we have spent. These days are gone. I mean, these hours are gone. Uh, and then again, the day hard work starts. Hard work starts again. As the day goes on and on and on, we get tired more, and then finally we again look forward. Hey, when the evening is going to come, when I'm going to close all this business, and then the night falls, we fall asleep, and then another day is gone. In that way, day after day, night after night, we are conquered, and then in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam there is Ayur Harati Vai Pumsam Udyan Astam Cha Yan Asau. The conclusion is that if one wants to make himself immortal, he should give up sense gratification. By engaging oneself in devotional service, one can gradually enter into the eternal kingdom of God. So one may ask if one becomes a devotee. Hmm? I don't know. Huh? None of us, I think, have come and joined Krishna consciousness because we want to live immortal. Because that is a mentality of asuras, demonic mentality, because we want to be away from the Lord. We want to enjoy independently from the Lord. We want to maintain that master, what do you call, superiority upon others. So that is the mentality, and who want to stay in this world. But a devotee is not interested in that. But it doesn't mean that when a devotee is turning towards the Lord, it doesn't mean that he will not face death. But for him, it's not a concern. This is the difference. I think this chapter, the remaining part of the chapter, is kind of helping us understand the position of a devotee and the position of a non-devotee. As the age advances, what happens? Mirages and other illusory things are sometimes called Gandharvas. Our losing losing our lifespan is taken as advancement of age, right? This imperceptible passing away of days of life is figuratively referred in this verse as Gandharvas. As explained in later verses, such Gandharvas are both male and female. This indicates that both men and women lose their lifespan imperceptibly by the force of time. What is the force of time is called Chandavega. Along with Chandavega were many female Gandharvis, as there were soldiers, and all of them repetitively plundered all the paraphernalia for sense enjoyment. So, night is the time of actually sense enjoyment. Days are considered to be white, night are considered to be black. Or for another from another point of view, there are two kinds of nights: black nights and white nights. All these days and nights combine to pass away our span of life and everything we manufacture for sense and gratification. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that, yeah, in the day also it's a night, kind of white night. We are having a white color of the night, and in the night, yeah, mm, we see it's a black night. But in the end, when as long as we are here and we are not turning towards our real identity, not engaging ourselves in the service of the Lord, not understanding that I am Brahman. So all this self-realization process is not taking place. Though we are seeing day and night passing one day after the other, then still we are in so-called darkness. Material activity means manufacturing things for sense gratification, isn't it? Scientists are conducting research to find out how we can satisfy our senses more and more elaborately. In this Kali Yuga, the demonic mentality is employed in manufacturing various machines. There are so many machines. Yeah, there are machines for washing dishes, cleansing the floor, shaving, clipping hair. Today, everything is done by machine. Prabhupada writes, all these facilities for sense gratification are called in this verse as Sarva Kama Vinir Muktam. The time factor, however, is so strong that not only is our lifespan being expended, but all the machines and facilities for sense gratification are deteriorating. Therefore, in this verse, the word vilumpanti, plundering, is used. Everything is being plundered from the very beginning of our lives. So this plundering is done through what? Time. Yeah. It is the time through which we are seeing everything is deteriorating, everything is changing, everything is getting weak. And Prahlad Maharaj describes that punas charvita charvananam. So, but the materialistic life means chewing the chewed again and again. The central point of material life is sense gratification. In different types of body, the living entity enjoys various senses, and through creating various types of facilities, he chews the chewed. Whether we squeeze sugar out of the sugarcane with our teeth or machine, the result is the same, sugarcane juice. We may discover many ways to squeeze the juice out of the sugar cane, but the result is the same. So then what is happening? When we are uh, passing our life, passing a time of our life through this day and night, uh, when King Gandharvaraj, Chandavega and his followers began to plunder the city of Puranjan, a snake with 5 heads began to defend the city. So what is happening? There is all that kind of a disease or this kind of health issue, or some people attacking in some ways or the other. We are always disturbed. And yeah, so when one is sleeping, the life air remains active in different dreams. The 5 hoods of the snake indicate that life air is surrounded by 5 kinds of air known as prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. When the body is inactive, the prana or the life air is inactive. So Prabhupada writes here, it's very important that we should carefully, consciously, and alertfully decide what we are doing every day. What are we doing? We are spending time. We are spending time. Up to age of 50, one can actively work for sense gratification, but after 50th year, one's energy decreases. Although one can with great strain work for 2 or 3 years, perhaps up to 55 years. Thus, the 55th year is generally taken by government regulations as the final year for retirement. The energy which is fatigued after 50 years is figuratively described here as serpents with 5 hoods. So we should understand that we cannot go with our plans that I will work like, what is that, right now 67 years. Okay, retirement is 67. Okay, I will have a job if I can continue to work. And yeah. Um, isn't it interesting here? In India, we have government organizations where we have this um, retirement age. Yeah? So there is an age decided. Okay, after this age, one has to retire. And of course, we some people see some people that they will work after retirement also as a contractor, hmm? As a consultant. Why? Because we have not understood what is mm, the aim of life. The aim of life is not to continue um, to accumulate wealth, because of course wealth is the important oil or fuel through which we can run our life, right? But we are only able to maintain this body. uh, if we do not engage in devotional service, accumulating wealth or having that fuel is only disturbance. It is just like if you have to go from Delhi to Kurukshetra, but if you are going on the opposite direction, you won't reach there. Similarly, when our goal is to understand the self, so if we do not engage our senses, our resources in that, then we are just wasting our time, our money, uh, and the energy which is fatigued after 50 years. So whatever the energy that we have to very carefully engage them. Narad Muni explains how later. The 5 hooded serpent, the superintendent, what is he called? I'm just looking, where is the word? He is Vimshatya, yeah, Puradhyaksha. Yeah. Puranjan, right? Puranjan is the king, and Puradhyaksha is who? This serpent, the superintendent and protector of city of King Puranjan, fought with Gandharvas for 100 years. He fought alone with all of them, although they numbered 720. Yeah. So we know this, right? So it is the air. As soon as when the uh, life air leaves the body, then the body is lost. But this life air is always, yeah, we know, inhaling, exhaling, the heart is uh, beating, uh, uh, the person is surviving. All this is happening with this 5 hooded, the Puradhyaksha. Yeah, the living air, living force is which is maintaining it. The 360 days and nights combined to 720 Chandavek. One has to fight these soldiers throughout one's lifespan, beginning with birth and ending with death. This fight is called struggle for existence. Struggle for existence is um, is there, isn't it? So one may say, no, I have started taking up meditation, I have started doing that, I have started, but struggle of existence is there, struggle for existence. And despite the struggle, however, the living entity does not die. Why? Is the living entity dying after the death? No. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharira. Just if the body is gone doesn't mean that, oh, we are dead. No. For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be born. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, undying, and primeval. Uh, he is not slain when the body is slain. So we cannot say that, okay, let me do everything so that I can enjoy. This is a golden opportunity. Maybe one is a platinum opportunity or even a more expensive, inexpensive opportunity. Uh, um, but what are we doing with that? Despite all this, living entity, due to illusion, thinks that he is well situated in sense gratification. So that is because of which he's struggling. He's trying to fight. He wants to make good health. He wants to improve his health by various yoga, pranayam, and all these things so that he can live longer. Because he had to fight alone with so many soldiers, all of them were great warriors, the serpent with 5 heads became very weak. So now, as the age ticks on, the stick of time is hitting, banging back and front. Uh, and then what is happening? One time we have this issues, the other time the other issues, sometimes both issues, sometimes, but there is nothing, never a time where there is no issue at all. As the age goes, there is something like, I don't know, we may say that, yeah, did we ever know that we were not at all taking medicines, but slowly we come to a point that something we need to maintain, take medicines for lifelong. So we are thinking, we are mitigating, we are managing, but it's very difficult. So here it says that the serpent is struggling to maintain it, getting more and more weak. Seeing that his most intimate friend was weakening, King Puranjan and his friends and citizens living within the city all became anxious. Oh, what will happen? Will my hand will fall down? Will my heart stop beating? Will I be giving up my life soon? There is always anxious. What will happen to my health? Oh, if my health, then what will happen to my property? If my property is lost, if someone will come and attack, oh, how to protect it? So all these anxieties are there. So King Puranjan is experiencing like the living being also is going through these kind of things. The living entity resides within the body and struggles for existence with the limbs of body, which are referred here as citizens and friends. One can struggle alone with many soldiers for some time, but not for all time. The living entity within the body can struggle up to the limit of 100 years with good luck, but after that it is not possible to prolong the struggle. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in this regard, has sung Vriddha Kala Aola Saba Sukha Bhagala. When one becomes old, it becomes impossible to enjoy material happiness. One may want to enjoy because he has habituated to enjoy, he wants to be enjoyed, his mind is still on that. However, is simply a path for, then they may take up to meditation. Yeah, we see that, okay, in the parks, right? We see, yeah, when you see there are cars, buses, bikes, all running to their workplaces, and we see, yeah, aged people, they gather, they do yoga, they do all therapies, some kind of laughing therapies, some kind of breathing therapies, to prolong their life so that may I not be dependent on anyone at the end, so that I can live on myself, let my health be there. Uh, After all, now I know the wealth is health, not the wealth is in the money, in the property, in the family, in the household. No. So, but it's too late. We have already come to that stage. So, one may take to meditation, but Prabhupada writes, meditation, however, is simply a farce for those who have enjoyed life in sense gratification. So if one has not trained himself to self-control at that age, if one takes to meditation, there won't be big impact, big help. As stated in described in sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, meditation, dhyana, dharana is a difficult subject matter that one has to learn from his very youth. So if at all we have ambition to live long and healthy life, then if we want to take meditation, the meditation process is to be supported by sense control, and that sense control is dhyana. And when one takes up to that with proper buddhi yoga, then this dhyana yoga becomes perfection. How does it get perfection? Is by always meditating on the Supreme Lord. This dhyana becomes favorably positioned, and one can attain success. One may restrain himself from all kinds of self gratification to meditate. Unfortunately, meditation has now become a fashion for those who are overly addicted to sensual things. Such meditation is defeated by the struggle for existence. One may take up to meditation, one may take up to yoga. So many yogas are there. Uh, I can't sit down on the floor. Okay, don't worry, you can sit on the chair. One I can say, oh, I am not able to sit long. Okay, sit for some time, do standing yoga. So many ways one can do. Why? Because struggle for existence. There is always this time. Chanda Vega has its influence upon us, due to which we are not able to do it. This meditation peacefully. Uh, and sometimes such meditative processes uh, pass for transcendental meditation. King Puranjan, living entity, being thus victimized by hard struggle for existence, took to transcendental meditation with his friends and relatives. What happened? Then King Puranjan's ignorance is mentioned here. King Puranjan, because now his life heir, what happened in the previous verse is because he had to fight alone. So seeing that his most intimate friend was weakening, King Puranjan and his friends within the city all became very anxious. And now what he has to do? He has to do something. When the body doesn't support us to enjoy, we want to do something, isn't it? We are not just giving up. Come on. How can we give up? It's just small adjustment in my life I can make, and then I can live forever with great happiness. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me take this medicine. Let me take that medicine. Let me spend a lot of money. There are people who are giving me a promise that, yeah, one day, one day will come that I am going to create a medicine for immortality. What is it called? Ambrosia is going to come, isn't it? After all, we have found medicine for so many diseases. Is it too difficult to find medicine for eternity? Isn't it? Just imagine, let's say that, just to discuss, yeah. If the scientists are able to find a medicine for immortality, and if everyone grabs it, what will happen? I think we are already struggling to live in this world, right? Yeah. We are having all kinds of issues, Adhyayavika, Adibhautika, Adhyatmika, all kleshas are there, all miseries. Do we want to have immortality? I think there is a nice story. Someone took it. Everyone is dying and he's thinking, oh, I'm very happy that they are dying. But see me, I'm not able to die because of that medicine I took. And that medicine, I'm living and I'm seeing everyone dying. And what is the purpose of me to live anymore? So King Puranjan collected taxes in the city known as Panchala and thus was able to engage in sexual indulgence. Being completely under the control of women, he could not understand that his life was passing away and that he was reaching the point of death. So government, yeah, anyway, I think that's a sideline info. The government is top heavy, and without increasing taxes, and government cannot maintain itself. When taxes are collected, they are utilized for the sense gratification of the government officials. Such irresponsible politicians forget that there is time when death will come to take away all their sensual sense gratification. Some of them are convinced that after life everything is finished, isn't it? Have anyone heard? There are sometimes when you're talking, first question comes, hey, do you believe in reincarnation? Or do you believe in after death? Huh? Why? Because there are also some schools of thoughts which are saying, hey, there is nothing like that. Atheists, Pakka atheist, what does he tell? Uh, First of all, I don't accept there is a soul. Uh, I don't accept there, okay, there is some chemical that is in this body which is kind of electrifying this body to do something when that power is off. Just like an electric bulb, right? Just imagine there is a transformer which has supplied the power to your home. As long as the power is coming, your house is working, electrified. But as soon as the power is gone, it's gone. So so casual, uh, but we are not giving credit to that power, right? Through which everything is functioning. And what happens to that power? Is it that the power is gone, disappeared, or is it got extinguished or exhausted? No. Law of conservation of energy is always there. The power is in this form, the other form. Hmm. So, but then there are philosophies, even our own Hetuvadis. There is during Lord Ram, when Ram was saying, "Hey, I will not." When Bharat Maharaj, he said, "Hey, let's go back to Ayodhya." At that time, there was this Charvak. Is it Charvak only? I think, yeah, I think in that context also. There is a Charvak Siddhant is very famous. You can Google it up. There is a philosopher, great philosopher who comes, who is he also there? Let me cross check. But yeah, he comes and starts telling, "Hey Ram, what are you doing? Why are you thinking so foolishly? You want to lead a dharmic life? Hey, there is no dharma. Uh, you are thinking that if you lead a good life, then you will enjoy good. Uh, so Charvak recommended that man should live very opulently by either begging, borrowing, and stealing. Huh? Beg, borrow, or steal. Beg if they give, borrow if you enjoy. But make sure that you don't miss the opportunity. After all, this is one life, man. Huh? This is what you have to do. Some people come in our life, we see them, they are enjoying like anything. Sometimes we think, are they really earning properly? No, no, no need. All the ethics. Did we manage to enjoy with all ethics? So sometimes we can follow them. So Charvak is also saying, he also maintained that one should not be afraid of death. The next life, come on, what is next? The past life or an impious life? Because after the body is burned to ashes, everything is finished. So then there is no question of about next life. So whatever you are enjoying, enjoy here. There is no heaven, there is no hell. Everything are here. Yeah, sorry, there is no hell or heaven elsewhere. That is here. If you do good, you're enjoying here in this life. If you do bad, you're suffering in this life. Everything is here. You can mitigate everything. Such philosophizing will not save one from the danger of death, nor will it save one from an abominable afterlife. So this is what we have to understand. And Narad Muni is saying, "My dear king, at this time the daughter of formidable time was seeking her husband throughout the three worlds. Although no one agreed to accept her, she came. No one wants. Who is the daughter? Who is the daughter of Chandavega? Huh? Who is the daughter of Chandavega Kalakanya? Who is she? She is the old age. Hmm. In the due course of time, when body becomes old and practically invalid, it is subject to jara, the sufferings of old age. There are four kinds of sufferings: birth, old age, disease, and death. No scientist or philosopher has ever been able to make a solution to these four miserable conditions. One may say, hey, no, medical advancement has addressed disease. The answer is no. Why? Did science solve all problems of the diseases that are there? No, we still have more and more diseases, more and more sophisticated diseases. We are finding that medicine, we are finding this medicine, but as such, disease has always been there. Why? Because it is one of the four basic kinds of sufferings. No scientist could solve it. The invalidity of old age, known as Jara, is figuratively explained here as the daughter of time. No one likes her, but she is very much anxious to accept anyone as her husband. No one likes to become old and invalid, but this is inevitable for everyone. Actually, that is the definition of a problem. A problem means no one wants it, but no one can avoid it. it is inevitable. And then the daughter of time, Jara, was very unfortunate. Consequently, she was known as Durbhaga. However, she was once pleased with a great king, and because the king accepted her, she granted him a great benediction. This is a story that Narad Muni is telling about a real story. In this elaboratory story, Narad Muni is actually bringing another story, which is of King Yayati. Hmm? Uh, um, I think the story when we were in Omkareshwar Prabhu's place, I think Braj Sundar Prabhu was telling about a story, a triangular love story, a story between two, so to say, between between two friends for one man. So this is a story of Yayati. Yayati and Devayani and who's that? Sharmishta, yeah. Sharmishta is the daughter of a king, and Devyani is the daughter of King Sukracharya. Hmm? So she wanted King Yayati as her husband. So Sukracharya, yeah, um, impels King Yayati to marry her, though Yayati was already in love with Sharmishta. Uh, Anyway, that's a whole story, and there are also so many learnings one can pick up from that. But here in this connection, Narad Muni is bringing that, saying that this old lady, or uh, this daughter of time, daughter of Chandavega, uh, she's also called Durbhaga, is, however, no one wants it, but one wanted it. Who was that? The son of Yayati, the fourth son. Who is he? Puru. Mm. He accepted old age of his father, uh, and in return of that, he got the kingdom to rule. And of course, other sons of King Yayati who were disobedient, they also got kingdom. It is said that the two of Yayati's sons, being disobedient to their father, were given kingdom outside of India, most probably Turkey and Greece. Prabhupada writes that. Although Puru attained his father's kingdom, he could not enjoy all the opulences, for he had sacrificed his youth. One should not wait for old age in order to become Krishna conscious. Due to the invalidity of old age, one cannot make progress in Krishna consciousness, however opulent he may be materially. So anyway, so in that way we understand. And then what happened? Now Narad Muni is saying, when I once came to this earth from Brahmaloka, the highest planetary system, the daughter of time, wandering over the universe, met me. Knowing me to be a vowed brahmachari, she became lusty and proposed that I accept her. So this is what happens, that it's not that the old age is only for non-devotees. The old age, can also come upon the devotees. Narad Muni, we know that was a Naistika brahmachari, that he had never had sex life. He was consequently an evergreen youth, was in that old age could not attack him. But Narad Muni, taking Narad Muni to be an ordinary man, the daughter of time confronted him with her lusty desire. It requires great strength to resist a woman's attraction. It is difficult for old men, and what to speak of young. Those who live as brahmacharis must follow in the footsteps of great sage Narad Muni, who never accepted the proposals of Jara. Those who are too much sexually addicted becomes victims of Jara, and very soon their lifespan is shortened. Without utilizing the human form of life for Krishna consciousness, the victims of Jara die very soon in this world. So it goes that. So the proposal from this daughter, or the Jara, was to marry, but Narad Muni disagrees to this proposal. Then what happened? he says, you know what? Narada Muni is saying, when I refused to accept her request, she became very angry at me and cursed me severely. Huh? Now, this is what happens. Because I refused her request, she said that I would not be able to stay in one place for a long time. Hmm. So, um, Narad Muni, like Narad Muni, many other devotees of Lord are engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord in different places and different universes. Such personalities are beyond the jurisdictions of material laws. So, uh, for devotee, it doesn't matter. Oh, that's a curse. No, nothing. For him, he would just see it, take it as a benediction, and then engage in serving. Tado vihata sankalpa kanyaka yavaneshwaram. Now what happened? After she was thus disappointed by me, with my permission, she approached the king of Yavanas, whose name was Bhaya, and she accepted him as her husband. But interesting what happens, let me tell. Uh, Being the most perfect Vaishnava, Sri Narad Muni is always willing to do good to others, even to one who curses him. Although Kalakanya was refused by Narad Muni, she was given shelter. Of course, no one could give her shelter, but a Vaishnav gives her shelter. So, in one stroke, Narad Muni gave shelter to Kalakanya and counterattacked the ordinary karmis. Anyway, that is more detail. Um, then, yeah, approaching the king of Yavanas, hmm, Kalakanya addressed him as a great hero, saying, my dear sir, you are the best of the untouchables. Fear, no one want to touch it. Yeah, I am in love with you and I want you as my husband. I know that no one is baffled if he makes friend with you. Huh? So one who does not follow the regulations, okay. Um, this should I go into detail? Prabhupada is saying how, to whom we should compare this Yavanas. Yavanas, we may have heard that Yavan Raj, yeah, if one would have saw Chanakya or some other sources, we see Yavana and Mlechas, right? Who are Yavanas are one who do not follow regulative principles, who do not follow rules and regulations, is called Yavana or Mecha. One should not mistakenly think that these words refer to certain class of men in other countries. There is no question of limitation according to the nationalism. Whether one lives in India or outside India, he is called Yavana or Necha if he does not follow the Vedic principles. One who does not actually follow the hygienic principles prescribed in Vedic rules and regulations will be subjected to many contagious diseases. Because the students in the Krishna consciousness movement are advised to follow the Vedic principles, they naturally become hygienic. If a person is Krishna conscious, he can work like a young man even if he is 75 or 80 years. Thus, the daughter of Kala cannot overcome a Vaishnava. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami engaged in writing Chaitanya Charitamrita when he was very old, yet he presented the most wonderful literature about the activities of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami began their spiritual lives at a very old age. That is, after they retired from their occupational duties and family lives. Yet they presented many valuable literatures for the advancement of spiritual life. So, in that way, uh, thus, Jara, the effect of old age does not harass a devotee. This is because the devotee follows the instructions and the determination of Narad Muni. So it is instructions. That is nice. If one is given instruction to follow regulative principles and do chanting 16 rounds, amazing, so nice. I am. But if we do not have determination to do it every day, then it's becoming again very difficult because he cannot win over the struggle of existence. All the devotees in the disciplic succession stemming from Narada Muni, because they worship the deity according to Narada Muni direction, namely Narada Pancharatrika Vidhi. Narada Pancharatra or the Pancharatrika Vidhi. A devotee follows the principles of Pancharatrika Vidhi as well as Bhagavat Vidhi. Bhagavat Vidhi includes preaching work, which is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, the hearing and chanting of the glories of the Lord, Vishnu, the Supreme Personal Godhead. The Pancharatrik Vidhi includes Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Because a devotee rigidly follows the instructions of Narad Muni, he has no fear of old age, death or disease. Disease or death. Apparently, a devotee may grow old, but he is not subjected to the symptoms of defeat experienced by a common man in old age. So sometimes we may see, hey, the devotee is struggling. No, he is not struggling. We might look from a material point of view that he is struggling. Consequently, old age does not make a devotee fearful of death, as a common man is fearful of death. When Jara or old age takes shelter of a devotee, Kalakanya diminishes the devotee's fear. A devotee knows that after death he is going back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, he has no fear of death. Thus, instead of depressing a devotee, advanced age helps him become fearless and thus happy. That is the beauty. One who does not give charity according to the customs or injunctions of scriptures, and one who does not accept charity in that way are considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Such persons follow the path of foolish. Surely they must lament at the end. This is what Narada Muni is saying. And yeah. Adho bhajasva mam bhadra. Kalakanya continued, O gentle one, I am now present before you to serve you. Please accept me and thus show me mercy. It is a gentleman's greatest duty to be compassionate upon a person who is distressed. So Narad Muni sent Kalakanya to whom? To, to Bhaya, to king of Yavanas. Uh, and that's why she's asking, she's saying, you are the greatest, isn't it? Is the world not scared? Is not the fear dominated all over? Yavan Raj, the king of Yamuna, could also refuse to accept Kalakanya, but he considered the request due to the order of Narada Muni. Thus, he accepted Kalakanya in a different way. In what way? In other words, the injunction of Narada Muni or the path of devotional service can be accepted by anyone within 3 worlds and certainly the king of Yavana. Lord Chaitanya himself requested everyone to preach the cult of Bhakti Yoga all over the world, in every village and town. Preachers in Krishna consciousness movement have actually experienced that even the Yavanas and Mlechas have taken to spiritual life on the strength of Narada Muni's Pancharatrika Vidhi. When mankind follows the disciplic succession as recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone throughout the world will benefit. Kala Kanyodita Vacho Nishamya Yavaneshwara Chikitsur Deva Guhyam Sa Samsitam Tam Abhasata. After hearing the statement of Kalakanya, the daughter of time, king of Yavanas, began to smile and devise a means for executing his confidential duty on behalf of Providence. He then addressed her. He said, after much consideration, I have arrived at a husband for you. Actually, as far as everyone is concerned, you are inauspicious and mischievous. Since no one likes you, how can anyone accept you as wife? So he said, oh no, no one will usually accept. Will anyone accept old age? No one, right? Prabhupada writes, after much consideration, king of Yavanas decided to make the best of a bad bargain. Kalakanya was a bad bargain. No one liked her, but everything can be used for service of the Lord. Thus, the king of Yavanas tried to utilize her for some purpose. What is the purpose? That is Kalakanya or Jara can be used to arouse a sense of fear in people so that they will prepare for next life by engaging in Krishna consciousness. So, this old age is an alarm. It's like an alarm piece which will usually wake us up, from our slumber of sleep. We might be sleeping, not knowing that what are we losing, what are we doing, how are we going away from the goal of our life. So when we know old age is going to come, everyone gets alerted. Everyone becomes alert. Oh, even a materialist person who wants to enjoy life like anything, he is also alerted. Oh, old age I can't do. Everyone is thinking, everyone is scared about old age. May old age not touch me. May old age influences may not happen on me. So everyone is like that. That fear is there. So, and here, how the king of Yavanas, the fear, is saying, let me engage you in that process. There are so many kinds of fears. Bhaya out of old age is one. So that people are taking serious to practice Krishna consciousness when they are young and energetic. Tvam avyakta gatir bhunksva lokam karma vinirmitam. Ya hi me pratana yukta prajanasham panashyati. This means the world is a product of fruitive activities. Therefore, you may imperceptibly attack people in general. Helped by my soldiers, you will kill them without opposition. This means this entire material world, especially in these days, is the result of fruitive activities. Everyone is fully engaged in decorating the world with highways, motor cars, electricity, skyscrapers, industries, businesses, etc. All this appears very nice for those who are simply engaged in sense gratification and who are ignorant of spiritual identity. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Nūnam Pramatta Kurute Vikarma Ya Indriya Pritaya Aproti Na Sadhu Manye Yata Atmano Yam Asan Api Kleshada Asa Deha. Those without knowledge of spirit soul are mad after material activities, and they perform all kinds of sinful activities simply for sense gratification. According to Rishabdev, such activities are inauspicious because they force one to accept an abominable body in the next life. Actually, in this world, there is no happiness. People are simply engaged trying to counteract unhappiness. Whatever we are saying, everyone wants happiness, and they are saying, by doing these things, I am happy because I'm not going through that pain. But that is only counteracting unhappiness. Foolish people accept unhappiness as happiness. Therefore, the king of Yavana decided to attack such foolish people imperceptibly by old age, disease, and ultimately death. Of course, after death, there must be birth. Therefore, Yavanraj thought it is wise to kill all the karmis through the agency of Kala Kanya, and thus try to make them aware that materialistic advancement is not actually advancement. Every living entity is a spiritual being, and consequently, without spiritual advancement, the human form of life is ruined. And then what does he do? This is very important. If we see this, is it the last verse? Yeah, this is the last verse. The king of Yavana continued, hey, here is my brother Prajvara. I now accept you as my sister. So Yavanraj is not accepting Jara as his wife, but he's saying, I accept you as my sister. I shall employ both of you. What is that? Prajvara, Prabhupada writes, I think, down. What is Prajvara? I simply employ both of you as well as my dangerous soldiers to act imperceptibly within this world. So, Kalakanya was sent by Narad Muni to Yavana Raj so that she might become his wife. But instead of accepting her as his wife, he accepted him as a sister. And those who do not follow the Vedic principles are unrestricted as far as sex life is concerned. That is more details. The word Prajvara is very significant, for it means the fever sent by Lord Vishnu. Prajvara. And it is said, such a fever is always 107 degrees, the temperature at which man may die. Which a man dies. Thus, the king of Mlecha and Yavanas requested the daughter of time Kalakanya to become his sister. There was no need to ask her to become his wife, for the Yavanas and Mlechas do not make distinction as far as sex life is concerned. Thus, one may outwardly be a sister, mother, or daughter and still have sex. This is the social life without Vedic living. So, combined and strengthened by the soldiers of Yavanraj, namely non-hygienic conditions, illicit sex, and ultimately a high degree of temperature to bring on death, they would be able to smash the materialistic way of life. In this connection, it is significant that Narad Muni was immune to the attack of Jara. Similarly, Jara or indestructible force cannot attack any follower of Narad Muni or another pure Vaishnava. Yeah, there ends. Thus end Bhaktivedanta purports of the fourth canto, 27th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam entitled Attack by Chandavega on the city of King Puranjan, the character of Kalakanya. Yeah, this is actually telling us very, very important things. Here we can summarize the characters which we came across. Kalakanya is the daughter of time. It represents Jara. Chanda Vega is the time. It has soldiers. How many? 720. They keep, of course, repeating. Yeah, we think that we are conquering them, but they conquer us every year after year, day and night. Then comes this Jara, which is the um, daughter of time. Yeah, as it progresses, old age comes, and she is also called uh, Durbaga, ill fate. Then comes Yavaneshwara. Who is that? Bhaya, fear, represents fear and mrityu. Then comes Prajvara. It is nothing but Vishnu Jvara, fever sent by Lord Vishnu, which is of two types. I think I have not covered it here. There are two kinds of fevers. Yeah, we know one fever is called cold fever, the other one is hot fever. Hot fever, yeah, is typhoid. Cold fever is pneumonia. We know when the lungs. So this are two kinds of fevers, but ultimately these fevers are mainly to remind us, hey, yeah, we suffer so much that we get reminded of the Lord. Hmm. Soldiers of Yavan Raj, who are they? They are the diseases. What are these kind of diseases? Adi Daivika, Adi Atmika, Adi Bhautika. So, this here we are depicting Narad Muni is giving a picture of what is the effect of old age, what is the effect of time, what is the effect of disease. Uh, but for a devotee, what does it mean? Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Yeah, another very, very allegoric but very intellectual subject matter. Any points anyone want to pick up? Found very interesting, reminding, alerting? Parminder Mataji, those few verses that you read, Prabhupada elaborates the urgency of taking up Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Prabhuji, what I found, what stuck in my head this time is from the purports. I don't remember which one it was, where he was saying that real advancement is actually spiritual advancement. And human forms, life is ruined if we don't take up to this. It was a nice reminder again to not to be too distracted with materialistic things.
Yeah, you're right. It is in the 29th one, which is material advancement is not actual advancement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Every living
Prabhuji.
entity is a spiritual being, so consequently, without spiritual advancement, human form of life is ruined. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. Any other thoughts? Anyone? No, then thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Yeah, let's meditate upon the importance of managing ourselves against the time. Time is not something we can manage the time. Usually people say time management, time management. Time management is not possible. We can't. We are, as long as we are conditioned in this material body, we are subjugated by the influence of time, which is called struggle. What is it? Struggle for existence, right? Rather becoming a devotee, then he gets immune to this, and then that's the secret. Okay, thank you. Srila Prabhupada की जय, ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, कोटि वैष्णव वृंद के नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंदी। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।